Welcome to Aptitude for Placements, and my name is Ranjit. I have conducted this aptitude training program at various engineering colleges all over India, and every year thousands of students get placed by attending this aptitude training program. Here you will find all the questions that are commonly encountered in most of the aptitude tests. These are the questions that keep on repeating in many of these tests. So just familiarize yourself with all these questions and you will have a clear advantage when you attempt your actual placement test. Let's start. Find the difference between the compound interest and simple interest for a sum of rupees 1250 invested for 2 years. The rate of interest is 10% per year. Now the sum is rupees 1250, sum or the principal is rupees 1250. The rate of interest is 10% per year. So R is 10% per year. Now the question is find the difference between compound interest and simple interest that you obtained for 2 years. So compound interest for 2 years minus simple interest for 2 years. This is what we need to calculate. So first of all, let us calculate the simple interest that you get for 2 years. Now simple interest for the first year is R% of principal. R is 10%. So 10% of 1250. So first year simple interest will be 125. That is 10% of 1250. You will get it as 125. Second year's simple interest also will be R% of principal. 10% of 1250. You will get it as 125. So simple interest for 2 years is 125 plus 125. You will get it as rupees 250. Next, let us calculate the compound interest for 2 years. Now, first year's compound interest is R% of principal. That is 10% of 1250. You will get it as 125. Next, let us calculate the compound interest for the second year. You will get this R% of principal. 10% of 1250. You will get this 125. And extra that you will be getting is R percentage of first year's interest. Rate of interest is 10%. So 10% of this 125 also you will be getting. So we'll just calculate. So 125 plus 125, that is 250, plus extra that you will be getting is 10% of 125. You will get extra 12.5. So this is the compound interest for 2 years. And this difference, that is what we need to find out. Compound interest for 2 years is 250 plus 12.5 minus simple interest for 2 years, that is 250. So 250 minus 250 they will cancel out, so that will be rupees 12.5. That is 12 rupees 50 paise. That is the difference between compound interest for 2 years and simple interest for 2 years. That is rupees 12.5, option B. Find the difference between the compound interest and simple interest for a sum of rupees 1600 invested for 2 years. The rate of interest is 5% per year. Now the sum that has been invested is rupees 1600. So principal or the sum is 1600. Rate of interest is 5% per year. So R is 5% per year. Now the question is find the difference between compound interest and simple interest. So compound interest for 2 years minus simple interest for 2 years. That is what we need to find out. So first of all, let us calculate the simple interest for 2 years. Now simple interest for the first year will be R% of principal. R is 5%. So 5% of 1600. That is the first year simple interest. Now to calculate a 5% of 1600, 10% of 1600 is 160. So 5% will be half of that. 10% is 160. So 5% will be half of that. Half of 160 is 80. So that is first year simple interest. Second year simple interest, again it will be 5% of 1600. You will get it as 80. So simple interest for 2 years is 80 plus 80, 160. That is the simple interest for 2 years. Next, let us calculate the compound interest for 2 years. Now, first year's compound interest will be 5% of 1600. 10% is 160. So, 5% will be half of that, that is 80. Now, compound interest for the second year. Again, R percent of principal, this 80 you will get. And extra that you will be getting is R percentage of first year's interest. R is 5%. So 5% of this 80 also you will be getting. That is R percent of first year's interest also you will be getting. So we'll just calculate 80 plus 80, that is 160, plus 5% of 80. 10% of 80 is 8. 5% of that will be half, that is 4. So this is the compound interest that you get for 2 years. So compound interest minus simple interest. Compound interest is 160 plus 4 minus simple interest is 160. So minus 160 and plus 160 will cancel out. So that difference is rupees 4. So the difference between compound interest and simple interest for 2 years, CA minus SA, that difference is rupees 4. So option D. Find the ratio of compound interest to simple interest obtained on a certain sum invested for 2 years. The rate of interest was 5% per year. Now the sum has not been mentioned, so we will assume that the sum or the principal is rupees 100. So if you assume 100, then we can easily calculate the interest that you will be getting. Now the rate of interest is 5% per year, 5% per year. So we have assumed the sum or the principal to be rupees 100. So let us calculate the simple interest for 2 years. Now for the first year, you will get R percent of principal. 5% of 100, you will get this 5. So this will be the first year simple interest. Now second year simple interest also will be 5. That is, you will get it as R percent of principal. 5% of 100, you will get this 5. So simple interest for 2 years is 5 plus 5, 10. Next, let us calculate the compound interest for 2 years. First year's compound interest and first year simple interest will be same. That will be 5. That is R percent of principal. 5% of 100, you will get this 5. Now, let us calculate the compound interest for the second year. R percent of principal you will get. 5% of 100, you will get this 5. And extra that you will be getting is R percentage of first year's interest. R is 5%. So 5% of this 5 also you will be getting. So 5 plus 5, 10. This is 0.25. So you will get it as 10.25. So the ratio of compound interest to simple interest for 2 years. So the compound interest is 10.25 to simple interest is 10. Now to find the ratio in numbers, we will multiply both numerator and denominator by 100. So there will be 1025 by 1000. 1025 is 25 into 41 and 1000 is 25 into 40. 25 and 25 will cancel out. So you will get the ratio as 41 is to 40. So the ratio of compound interest to simple interest for 2 years is obtained as 41 is to 40. That is option A. Find the ratio of compound interest to simple interest obtained on a certain sum invested for 2 years. The rate of interest was 8% per year. Now the sum is not given. The sum or the principal is not given. So we will assume that the sum or the principal is rupees 100. That will make the calculations a lot easy. Now the rate of interest R is given as 8% per year. So first we'll calculate the simple interest for the first year. Simple interest for the first year is R percent of principal. R is 8%. So 8% of 100 you will get this 8. Second year also again it will be R percent of principal. 8% of 100 you will get this 8. So simple interest for 2 years is 8 plus 8 is 16. Next let us calculate the compound interest for 2 years. Now first year compound interest and first year simple interest is same. You will get it as R percent of principal. 8% of 100 you will get this 8. Second year, you will get this 8% of 100, this 8 you will get, and extra that you will be getting is R percentage of first year's interest. R is 8%, so 8% of this 8 also you will be getting. So we'll just calculate this. 8 plus 8 is 16, and this is 8 into 8 is 64. By 100 is 0.64. So 16.64. That will be the compound interest for 2 years. Now find the ratio of compound interest to simple interest for a sum invested for 2 years. So this ratio is what we need to find out. Compound interest, we have got it as 16.64, as to simple interest is 16. Now to make the calculations easier, we'll multiply both sides by 100. So you will get it as 1664 by 1600. Now here 16 divides 104 times, 16 divides 100 times. So you will get the ratio as 104 is to 100. That is same as 52 is to 50. That is same as 26 is to 25. So the required ratio is 26 is to 25. So find the ratio of compound interest to simple interest for 2 years. That is obtained as 26 is to 25, option B. Let me briefly explain how to prepare for your aptitude test. First of all, you need to familiarize yourself with all the questions that have been worked out here. These are the questions that keep on repeating in many of the aptitude tests. After that, you need to attempt practice tests. According to me, you need to attempt at least 10 practice tests before your actual placement test. Here, I will be giving you 10 practice tests, and these practice tests will be ideal for you to improve your test scores. The 10 practice tests are available at a cost of only rupees 200. So all that you need to do is make a payment of rupees 200 either through Google Pay or through PhonePe or through Paytm, and you will receive the 10 practice tests. The details of the payment comes next.